So welcome and good morning, everyone. Today we have a special training. This training is all about how to stand out from the crowd with a humanized AI approach. Everybody wants to be standing out. Nobody wants to be a part of the crowd, correct? But most of the coaches are falling prey to this because they don't know how to do this. Exactly. Everybody wants to get differentiated, but how? This is very uncommon, and this is what I'm going to cover. So the training will comprise of multiple different elements, and I have categorized into two different ones. One is humanized approach and one is the AI approach. So we'll be taking all these two together along with to cover all these topics, and there are multiple steps towards it. So let's have of it and let's begin. So how to stand out in the market and become the obvious choice using humanized AI. Fair? So the point is, everybody wants to get some different kind of eyeballs. Everybody wants attention, correct? So if you want attention, you have to have some differentiation, right? Attention will not come just by doing something which the entire world is doing. Fair? So what all these things we are going to do, that is going to create that attention, and that is what we are going to talk about. Fair? So this is a complete strategic playbook for coaches who are starting, coaches who are at intermediate level, coaches who are even doing pretty well. They are at advanced stages of their businesses, right? So this is, I want to, talk about it, why it is important, because, everybody is struggling for eyeballs. Everybody is struggling for attention. Now, not because you don't have a skill, mind it. Every coach has a skill, and they're not struggling because lack of skills. They're struggling because they look, sound, and market exactly like everybody is doing. Now, there would be one coach who's be teaching, let's say 100 people. Now, all these 100 people are doing the same thing. Now, for an audience, now you become like the next person, like everybody is doing the same thing. Now, how are you going to get differentiated? Right? So, because of this, you draw in sameness. Everybody is looking same, sounding same, doing all similar activities. So in this coaching market, which is now, I would say coaching is not saturated, but this market has been saturated with similar kind of templates, frameworks, funnels, tools, hacks, strategies. And especially when it comes to AI, everybody was doing something with AI. So you find similar stuff everywhere. The real question becomes, why you? I always ask yourself, why would somebody buy from you? Why would somebody come to you? Why somebody should choose you over others? If you have an answer to this, you are done. If you don't have this answer, that means you are also a part of that crowd. And this training is specially to differentiate you from the crowd, right? Sure. So this training is the answer to your question. And we are going to learn about how to stand out, how to break the plain vanilla coach trap, how to humanize your message, how to position yourself as the obvious choice, how to use AI without losing your humanity, and how to build backend and front-end systems that make you and your brand unforgettable. Right? So this is what you have to do. Fair? Now, this is not theory. Uh, okay. Anita ji, are you taking this note? I'll approve this if you are, because I don't think anybody else here. Okay, fair. Fair, no issues. So what we are going to do is, we are going to learn all this. And this is not theory, as I said. This is my 15 years of experience in my entrepreneurial business. I have done more than 1,000 events till now, real coaching, real trenches, and real stories. So all this I have put together into a structured, actionable blueprint. Fair? So let's begin. As I said, I have prepared this training in two parts. One is the back end and second is the front end. And even all this back end and front end has been divided into two further segments, which is non-AI activities and AI activities. Because AI has been becoming a part of our lives and our businesses, we cannot ignore that. So let's understand how to do this. But to do this, I'll be giving 6 unfair advantages to you to become or to stand out from the crowd. So this is the special out of the box section which will make you stand out from the crowd. So what are these? Number one. So before I say, go with all these six, I'll just wanted to tell you that, uh, AI, funnels and strategies, everything would be identical in more or less every sense. But your differentiation is something different. Something different. Now, what are those unfair advantages? Number one. So there are six out of the box strategies you can say, or unfair advantages which I want to implement in your system so that you become the obvious choice. You get differentiated. So what are these? Before we get into the humanize and non-humanize uh, parts of this, let's understand this out of the box scenarios, which is gonna give you the differentiation. So the number one is go against the flow, which I call the rebellions method. What does it mean? Average coaches, which is, as I said, every coach is learning from somebody or other, and they're implementing the same in a similar fashion. So they follow the flow. Here, since you are gonna use this rebellion method, you are going against the flow. So don't follow the flow, go against the flow. Break the flow which other people are doing in the market, right? So for example, when somebody is telling you to post daily, right? What you have to do is you say that I don't post daily. I post only meaningful content, let's say thrice a week or 4 times a week. I don't look for quantity, I look for quality. That is again going against the flow. Similarly, let's say if somebody is, repeating to follow some particular framework, don't follow that framework. Get into the details or the other aspect of the framework, which is depth, truth, and originality. Similarly, when somebody talks about, or looks, the coaches are looking desperate for leads. You don't look that kind of a, don't shoot that kind of a desperation. Fair? So when you do this rebellion approach, rebellions are not there to compete. They define the market. People get attracted towards something new or something different. So this rebellion method is going to help you stand out. Number two, disrupt with a big idea. A bold insight never explored yet. Like, again, within the niche, if I talk about in coaching, there would be very less big ideas, right? Big ideas, come from years of experience or maybe by fluke also. And if worked on, like, you see these big businesses, talk about the food delivery partners, talk about Oyo, talk about Airbnb and all those concepts. These are big ideas. Talk about Uber, all these big ideas, they are once in a blue moon kind of a thing. But here inside the coaching business, what you have to do is you have to become a category leader, right? So don't try to teach everyone and everything. Clear cut, explain some big ideas to your audience for which you should be known for. Like if say, I've given some examples. Coaching doesn't fail. Coaches fail when they avoid connection. Now everybody is, full devoted and full geared up into, funneling, automations, tools, technology. You talk about connection. I do this. I always talk about building a relationship. I always talk about building a connection. So that building connection is a big idea. Although it's known to all, but you need to be focused on talking about it. Similarly, I talk about that AI is not gonna replace coaches, but a coach who humanizes AI will replace 90% of the market. I always talk about humanized AI approach. And I always say that it's not about strategies and tools and funnels and techs and gigs. I always talk about that support and accountability is always greater than all those strategies combined together. So this is a big idea which I've been using. Now you have to think about your own niche and your business, what you need to talk about in terms of the big idea. So when you talk about a big idea, people rethink about their businesses and they are attracted towards your big idea. Fair? So you become the obvious choice, as I said. You're reshaping their beliefs so that they treat you as your obvious choice because you are talking different, right? Let's talk about point number three. Bring your unique life stories, your uncopyable advantage. Now everybody has a story. We all know that. We do have multiple stories since our birth till this time, correct? Now people can copy your framework, people can copy your content, people can copy your style and design, but people cannot copy your story, right? Nobody can copy your lived life. Nobody can copy your lived reality. So your story should be in such a way that people start relating with you. Now, there could be different categories of stories. I'll be just highlighting few, like the mentor supported breakthrough moment that change your business. Let's say you are working or you were working with a mentor, something changed, something happened. So that mentor supported breakthrough, that could be one story. My story is I had to sell one of my house during the COVID to support my team, to pay my team. That becomes my unique story. Not everybody is selling their house to pay their employees. Fair? The moment you realize that support is greater than strategies, this is what I felt when I was getting money mentored by my coach. The days you doubted your path and the days you came back stronger, all these kind of stories, if you put together, now these stories are your unique stories. Nobody can copy paste your stories, right? So these stories build emotional resonance, correct? And this emotional resonance build trust, and ultimately this trust builds sales. So you have to be, as I said, these are unfair advantages, and stories play an important role into that. Next point is position yourself as a specialist for niche gaps. Remember, there are people who are teaching niches, to find niches, to work in the niches. Now, all these niches has been crowded enough, I would say, unless and until you find a niche gap. So inside the niche, we talk about, and if you talk about a niche gap, which is very unique, very particular, that means you are going to dominate that niche. You are going to dominate that gap which is untouched. And this is also the concept of the blue ocean strategy, right? Find something which is not yet been touched. Find something very unique. Find that gap which is there and you can dominate that gap. Like for me, if I talk about teaching every coach, I'll be like another coach. I'm only talking about coaches who are ready to, who are actually earning 1 to 2 lakhs per month, and they want to increase their business to maybe 5 lakhs rupees per month. So I'm talking about only those coaches. Just I'm finding there's niche gaps, because earning 1 lakh rupees is okay, but when you want to scale up, it's a different ball game. I'm I'm talking about, and I'm talking to those coaches who want to scale their businesses higher. So coaches with expertise but no authority. And there are coaches, multiple coaches are having multiple years of experience, but they have not built their authority. I'm working with that, those people. Coaches who are posting daily, they are trapped in the content creation, but they are not able to generate leads or attraction. Fair. I'm talking to those people. Coaches who are tired of funnels, ads, and agencies have charged money. Funnel people have said that, okay, I'm doing my job. The ad is not working, or the ad guy says the funnel is not proper, and so on and so forth. So people who are literally irritated with all this, I'm talking to them. And coaches who can sell but can't generate inbound leads. Now, there are coaches who are very good at selling. They say that, okay, you give me leads, I can sell. And there are different kind of coaches who say that I can generate leads, but I cannot do sales because they're not good at it. So all these people, again, you see there are different gaps. And I have identified these gaps, and this is why I have given these examples from my own business. Now you have to find, because you people must be having different niches, and within that niches you must be having different gaps. So what you have to do is you have to find that gaps, and you become the specialist of those gaps, right? Because specialists aren't compared, they're chosen, right? Become the person to be chosen, and that is why the purpose is that we want you to choose your clients, not to chase, right? Number 5, add or complement a subject for a foot in the door. Foot in the door is a concept where, let's say if somebody is not knowing you and you want to get into their lives, get into their businesses. So do something easier to give them a micro win, to enter their world. For example, if I say that I'll be helping you to create humanized AI content, so I can do a makeover of that. So that becomes a foot in the door. If I can say that a 30-minute positioning review, let me see how you have positioned yourself. I can give you a 30-minute review. Or I can give you a 7-day visibility activation system, how you can create your visibility in just 7 days. So that kind of a systems are foot in the door. Not everything is gonna happen in 7 days, but you will start feeling those changes, right? Or maybe I can give you a DM conversation audit. right? So these are small doors which allows the customers to feel you, believe you, trust you, and it leads to the bigger transformation. This creates trust faster. The purpose is that only. Fair? Again, this is a unique concept which you need to be doing when you want to differentiate yourself. And number 6, humanize AI and build a system for it. So now most of the coaches, they are using AI, but they are not using humanized AI. Why I'm saying this? Because I see their content. I can clearly look and feel that these people have just given some prompts, and whatever they are getting as an output, they're just copy pasting it. We don't have that flavor of that human touch, right? So what you need to be doing is you need to amplify or multiply yourself with the help of AI. This is again a unique process which you need to understand. So humanizing AI means what? You AI is creating a draft and you add depth to it. AI would be creating structures, you add stories to it. AI would be accelerating, you add wisdom to it. And AI would be writing it on your behalf, you need to humanize it, right? So you create a humanized AI machine with voice blueprints, story bank, positioning scripts, emotional layering frameworks, and repurposing systems. So this is your competitive advantage. So I gave you the 6 principles to, stand out. Again, it is an unfair advantage. I'll just repeat it. Go against the flow, the rebellions method, disrupt with a big idea, a bold insight never explode yet. Third is bring your unique life stories, your uncopyable advantage. Fourth is position yourself as a specialist for niche gaps. Fifth is add or complement a subject for a foot in the door. And sixth is humanize AI and build a system for it, right? So these are your unfair advantages. Now, from here onwards, these 6 principles are woven into every step of the backend and the front-end systems. So we are building this entire framework to stand out in the crowded market and become the obvious choice based on the 6 principles which I've already discussed. Fair? Now we'll start with the basic level, which is the backend foundation. What you have to do is create your why should I choose you statement. The clarity statement, which is a non-I statement. Yes, you can take help of AI to refine it. What you have to do is you have to create a 3-part clarity formula. Who you help, what transformation you deliver, and third is why only you can do this. Fair? So these are the 3. For example, if I give, this is my example, if I say, I help coaches stuck at 1 to 2 lakhs per month scale to 3 to 5 lakhs per month using a hybrid of humanized messaging, positioning, and real-time support, something 99% of the coaches don't offer. See how clear and concise it is. Fair? Who, what, and why I'll be the only choice, because I'm offering something which 99% of the coaches are not offering, right? So this clarity becomes your narrative anchor. So you have to start with this, creating your why should I choose you statement. Second, build your human life story bank. Again, your story is known to you. AI would not be knowing your story unless and until you tell them. Fair? So remember, stories are there to help scale faster than any strategies. So you have to collect 12 stories. What are those stories? As I said, mentorship breakthroughs, emotional failures, family sacrifices, learning moments, small wins, client emotional transformation. And you can add multiple more categories to it. And your story bank would become what? Your content planner, your reels, your emails, your webinars, your sales calls, your captions, and entirely, if I talk about it, becomes your pre-sale material. So when your story enters the room, the competition leaves the room because your story comes with your uniqueness. And with that power, you can definitely dominate the conversation, dominate the minds of the prospect, and you can scale higher, right? Third is creating your humanized AI voice blueprint. Now, AI need context to sound like you. If you just give a casual prompt, it will be giving you a casual response as well, right? So what you have to do is feed AI. How? Feed AI with 10 emotional posts, 10 authority-driven posts, 5 humorous posts, and 5 story-based posts. When you write on your own and feed all these in terms of stories, and then tell AI that write like me, which is emotional, raw, empathetic, humorous, and highly authoritative, then your voice or your content becomes a humanized AI engine. Understand that? Don't just give a simple prompt that create a post on this topic and blah blah blah. Train it with your language. So first work you have to do it. So give that inputs in your own language. Create this kind of emotional stories or post and feed it to the AI and then ask them to create something like this. Right? So you are creating your humanized AI voice blueprint. So that becomes the backend thing. Right? I told you three things. Backend level, basic level backend operation is you have to create your foundation. So why should you choose your statement? Building your human life story bank. And the third is creating your humanized AI voice blueprint. Now let's talk about the intermediate level backend positioning, because positioning is very much important in coaching business. How? So build your obvious choice positioning, which is again a non-AI activity. Use the authority dominator triangle. What is the specific pain you are gonna tackle? What is your proprietary method of doing it? And what is the philosophy behind it? So I have given my example. I'm working with those coaches with a specific pain point who are stuck at 1 to 2 lakhs and they are stuck frustrated. They want to grow higher. My proprietary methods are the Coaching X and the O2 system. This I have created over my experience of 5 years in coaching, and I have brought all my experience of 50 years of my life and doing other stuff. When I was doing a job in multinational companies, I traveled across the globe and so on and so forth. So everything is put together. That becomes my proprietary method. And my philosophy is what? Support and accountability is better than strategy always. So I believe in giving support. I believe in giving accountability. When I combine this support and accountability, it gives far, far, far much better results than any strategy will give you, right? So when you position with the rebellion method, you have an unmatchable authority. This is what we are gonna do. Fair? Next, your signature transformation path. So how you are gonna create those kind of results? Again, this is a non-AI activity. Example could be your creator mindset, your messaging upgrading, your credible commenting. This is what I do. Your lead magnet setup, your humanized AI content system, DM conversations, offer creation, authority amplification. So these are the path, your signature transformation path through which you are going to give results to your audience. Again, based on your niche, you need to again think about it and create this path. Correct? So this path is your differentiation engine. Now every coach would be having their different path. You have to have your own path which cannot be compared with anybody else, right? And that is your differentiation. That is how you're gonna stand out. You remember, always keep in mind this training is all about how to stand in the market and become the obvious choice, where you'll be using humanized AI and some non-AI things which I'm already mentioned, right? Six is build your AI execution system. So when I say AI execution system, AI can help you repurpose content, generate ideas, improve clarity. It can structure frameworks and it can provide variations as well. So you can be having multiple A/B testing done through AI. You can have multiple options created with the same content and you can repurpose it. So what you do is you add voice, emotion, story, humor, and truth. So when you input all these elements in your content with the help of AI, your voice, your emotion, your story, your humor, your truth, then this creates a content which feels alive. It's not robotic. It's not copy pasted. It's you who is talking in terms of whatever you are doing, and your audience connects with it. That's the value. Fair. Now let's understand the advanced level backend, which is authority infrastructure creation. So you have to create your number 7 is build your humanized authority kit, which is a hybrid model. That means you have to do something as AI and non-AI both activities. What are these? Create 7 emotional emails, create 15 authority posts, create your big idea pieces, then your rebellion driven content, your story driven lead magnet, a positioning manifesto, and a documentary style why I do this video script. If you're doing, you must be having a vision, a mission, the reason behind it. People want to know why you are going to do this, why you will be sustaining in this market, because there have been coaches coming and going. People want to work with those people who are going to stay in this. Fair? So this kit will build dominance in 15 to 30 days. If you have created this authority kit, this will position you as the dominant authority in your niche, right? So this is like your backend activity which you have to do. But this is very advanced. Although it is a backend activity, but this will help you create your authority infrastructure at the backend. And once you have already done it, start doing it, start posting it or sending emails so that people start understanding you and taking you as that kind of an authority builder, right? People want to see who you are, what you do. So this will help you do that. Eighth is high trust brand assets. Again, this is a non-AI activity. What you have to do is you collect emotional screenshots. If you have certain customers who have talked good about you or texted, take a screenshot. If they have sent any voice notes, record that voice note, keep it at a safe place. If somebody has talked good about you in your workshops, webinars, take that screenshot or, collect in any way. Maybe you can show your behind the scene, BTS we call it, behind the scene work, how you create a presentation, what all do you think, what all books you refer and everything. That also create a high trust brand asset, right? And obviously before and after transformation, what you did earlier and how it came out in the end. So before and transformation could be your life journey, could be your event, could be your thoughts, anything. So when you do this high trust brand assets, it it builds proofs. And as I said, when you build proof, it creates trust, and this trust will automatically create demand and it will attract customers, right? Number 9, emotional data extraction. Again, this is AI assisted. As I said, feed AI your testimonials. Last time we talked about feeding AI with your stories to create similar kind of a voice tone and other things. Now we are talking about feeding your feeding AI with your testimonials, right? So this is emotional data extraction. Let's say somebody might have told you good about one particular aspect of your maybe handholding support or your approach, your timings and everything. So when you feed AI with your testimonials and ask to extract emotional themes, identify hidden desires, fears, and patterns, AI will show you these things: the relief, the hope, the trust, the confidence, the clarity, and the belonging. So all these will become your messaging pillars. So we all are humans, and when we talk about all this, we connect very fast with each other, and this becomes your messaging pillar to connect faster with your audience, and that is what we want, and that is how we are gonna become the obvious choice, right? So the part 1 has been done, which is the backend activity. We have created the backend assets for us, right? Now we are going to talk about the part 2, which is the front end. Front end is mostly marketing, right? So here we'll be having some non-AI activities and some AI activities. And it is applicable to all this category of coaches, even though who are starters, basic, intermediate, and advanced level of coaches, right? Let's understand. So in front end, you have to do, first thing is the basic front end, first thing is visibility. How you're going to create visibility. So we believe in humanizing content using the HEART framework. Now, what is this HEART framework? So every piece of content should include a hook, empathy, authority, a real story, and a transformation insight. That is called HEART. So H stands for hook, E for empathy, A for authority, R for real story, and T for transformation insight. This is a HEART framework, right? For example, coaches shout leads. This is what one of the content I created, right? Coaches shout leads, but when I ask them to show up daily, they vanish like Netflix free trial users. So it's humor and it's truth, which is instantly relatable, correct? So this is your first thing, creating visibility. Second is credible commenting. Again, to create your visibility faster over different channels, you have to have credible commenting. Again, don't use AI to do commenting. I have always spoken about it, right? So comment like a specialist, precise, insightful, clear. I've also given, in my workshop, formula how to do commenting and how to do credible commenting. Fair? So you have to be generous as well. Never criticize anybody. And don't say nice post, but here's what it can add to, here what you are missing in this, and so on and so forth. So when you give your expertise into a comment, you position yourself as an authority. Mind it, very simple thing, but it creates a lot of impact. Next is AI for consistency. It is AI assisted, so AI will ensure that you never run out of ideas. You need to keep generating ideas from AI. But again, the inputs would be yours, as I said, whether it is your testimonials, whether it is your stories, give your inputs to AI so that it never run out of ideas, and ask them to give multiple other things. Like we talked about, creating hope, empathy, all these things should be there inside a post, everything. And this particular aspect of relief, hope, trust, confidence, create multiple combinations, right? So that everything is included and your client or your prospect sees you as a differentiator, right? Now let's talk about authority amplification. So this is again a front-end activity, and this is with the intermediate level people or people who have already crossed that level of basic one. So this will amplify your authority. How? Number one, create humanized lead magnets, right? Again, it has to be hybrid. You have to write your own. Don't again rely totally on AI to give you a lead magnet created, right? So lead magnet must feel personal, story driven, insightful, and specific to niche gaps. Don't just create any lead magnet which is of no use. And I've also talked about how you can have, you know, uh, faster consumption of your lead magnets. It should be actionable. It should be broken into parts, right? And so on and so forth, so that people could immediately apply. And when it is personal, story driven, people connect with you faster. That's always which I have been talking about, becoming your obvious choice, right? For example, 7-day messaging makeover, 3 big mistakes keeping coaches stuck, emotional case study breakdown. So AI will give you the formats and you need to humanize it. That is what is meant by the humanized lead magnets. Now, the next one is truth bomb reels. Now, again, you can take help of AI and use real talks. Like, let's say, you have to actually break or, create noise through truth bombs. How it is? Let's say, you can say you are not stuck because of content. You are stuck because your content doesn't connect. See the difference. Everybody is talking about content. You say that it's not about the content, it's about the connect. So it's a truth bomb, which is absolutely applicable and relatable to every one of you, right? And second one could be if you're posting daily but still invisible, it's not your consistency, it's your positioning. So these are very common problems or common concerns which the coaches have. They are not stuck because of content. Their content is not talking to the right audience. So the connection is missing. When you create this kind of a truth bombs, you become the obvious choice. And similar with this, it's not about your consistency, it's about positioning, right? So these reels may or may not go viral, but definitely people will consider you as a real person. And that's our motto. Our motto is to become the obvious choice. Our motto is to stand out from the crowd, right? Next is human-led DM conversation. Now you must be, I don't know how many of you are sending DMs to people. There are people who, start pitching in the very first instant without building relationship. And I have always talked about building relationship first. And for that, I have already given a formula. You have that formula is called LCM formula. You have to like, comment, and message, right? So whenever you send some message, let the other people know you in advance. That is how you're gonna start the conversation. Don't just say very good, very nice. Don't be robotic and pitchy. So let's say I just have written it. You can say, hey, just saw your post on that particular topic. If you have really seen it, don't fake it, right? You are doing a good work. Your effort seems to come with a big vision and mission. What's your next goal? Similarly, ask simple questions so that people feel that you are really and genuinely interested in talking to them. No robotic things, no pitchy thing, just be real. Fair? So this is the next one. Now let's come to the advanced front-end marketing domination thing, which is because everybody wants to dominate in the market and you cannot just do it by, doing one person at a time. So you have to have a system. Do it in a webinar model or a workshop model. Bring more people together so that you can give your message to more and more people at one time. So that is why I call it the humanized AI webinar system, which is again a hybrid system. You have to use AI and non-AI both, right? So your webinar structure will begin with a story, then it will break a belief, show their pains, offer your big idea, show humanized AI angle, how to do that, share your path, invite them, and that is how you're gonna create trust, authority, and demand. Fair? So any event which you're gonna do, again, it has to be a hybrid because you need to take help of AI and non-AI both, but it has to be real with you, which starts with a story, breaking a belief, and so on and so forth. So this will create trust, authority, plus demand. Fair? Next is the 7-day authority rainfall campaign. So now you have to have, authority. You cannot wait for years and years to build that authority. So to do that faster, you have to have a mix of emotional stories, positioning post, authority bombs, humanized AI demonstration, case studies, and DM nurturing. Right? When you put all this together, it's like an authority rainfall, which you can have in just 7 days. Right? So that's the power of becoming the obvious choice. So this overwhelms the market and with your presence. When you do all this, and you have multiple ways to do this. You have videos, you have text, you have graphics, you have carousels, you have short videos, you have long videos, you have stories. You need to find ways. There are multiple ways to do all this, right? So this 7 days is a real time in which you can see the difference. And next is public proof of expertise, which is again non-AI. What? You show the live implementation, what you are doing and how people are using that live. Second, create a real feedback loop. What you did, what happened, what next, how you went again, and how this loop is working. Your micro corrections, remember. Let's say if you're working with one of your clients and you saw something happening not as per the expected results, you did some micro correction and later on you saw the results changing drastically. So these are the public proof for expertise. And again, client breakthroughs. Let the client say what happened in their lives, in their businesses, with the help of whatever you have taught them, right? So people trust what they see. Simple. Correct. So you have to create this public proof of your expertise, which is again a non-AI, and you have to show it in the real time, most preferably. If not, record it, record the sessions, how you are helping people implement all those things, and then show it to the world, right? That's it. So the conclusion is you become the obvious choice because being standout is not luck, it's a system, and a system where you go against the flow, you introduce bold, disruptive ideas, you tell honest stories, you fill niche gaps, you offer powerful micro wins, you humanize AI, you build backend clarity, and you execute front-end authority, right? That's it. So the purpose is to become what? The obvious choice. So when you show up real, raw, human, and consistent, you do everything without any stress, which flows naturally. So most coaches are trying to stand out by shouting louder. You don't have to shout louder. What you have to do is you have to be true. You have to go deep. You have to become more human, more disruptive, and you have to become you. This is your path to becoming the obvious choice. That's